Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we look at Digimon Adventure's Try Movie 1 Reunion. Now, there actually is a planned release for several of these movies. I do not know how many are going to be coming out. I think it's like 5 or 6 that are planned for it, which kind of, it makes the title Try a little weird, but overall though, I'll say this right now, it's awesome. Now, don't kill me for saying this please guys and girls, but when I was growing up, I grew up with both Pokemon and Digimon obviously, like many kids did. And Digimon always resonated with me more than I think Pokemon did. Now, like I said, don't kill me, just listen to me, okay folks, listen to me. For me, I was a huge gamer. I loved playing games. I've always been a fan of video games. And Digimon kind of hit that note with me because it reminded me of what literally would feel like probably, or at least the semi-concept of getting trapped in a digital world, having to fight monsters and stuff like that. Yeah, you could make the comparison that Pokemon was very similar in many ways, but for me, Digimon just resonated more with me, and I really always loved it. I loved the music, I loved the characters, I loved the transformations, etc. I thought it was cool. I loved even the video games too. I mean, I played all the video games for Digimon for the most part. I think it was like a mixture of maybe 1 or 2 I didn't play. Same with Pokemon in many ways. I played almost all Pokemon games. It's just, Digimon always resonated with me more as a kid. Now, that being said, what's cool about Digimon Adventure Try Reunion is that it's exactly that. The synopsis of this is that this is essentially the reunion episode. This is meant to start the whole series proper, in the sense that it's been several years since the events of the Digidestined and all that, and what we have here now is these kids are not kids anymore. They are in high school. They're dealing with, you know, trying to graduate, they're dealing with tests, they're dealing with their own internal love lives, they're dealing with everything under the sun that high schoolers deal with, and that is definitely putting friction on their friendship because obviously they can't hang out as much nowadays. Like, Tai is not the leader of them like he was when he was a kid. You know, as much as I think in his head he wishes he still had that inherent nature, you know, when, like, for example, he just wants to play a soccer game and he wants people to come to a soccer match, they can't come because they're busy with various things. You know, you have one who's trying to be a rock star, and you have another one who's trying to get into college, but he has to take entrance exams. I'm not going to spoil who characters are doing what because I want you guys to enjoy that, but that is the element that I loved about Digimon Try, is that it hits that note of what happens in high school, especially if you have a tight-knit group of friends that are now older and they're trying to deal with their own lives and trying to deal with what awaits them further. Now, one thing I'll say right now is Toei Animation did a phenomenal job. Regardless of what you think of Toei, you know, I know a lot of people always say, oh, you know, their work are not nearly as good as it used to be. It's like, oh, you know, this show, you can see the animation get worse, etc. With Digimon Adventure's Try, it actually looks really impressive. I don't want to say it's like super huge movie quality budget, to be honest with you, because I don't think it's like that, but it's definitely a very enhanced version of an episode. I'll say that, perfectly honest. And that's a good thing, don't get me wrong, it's perfectly fine. I think that the transformations are where you're going to be like, just, your mind's going to be blown when you see some of the transformations, especially in a modern senses compared to the original, because I saw the original one recently just to kind of do a comparison, and I was really surprised that you see the older show being the way it is now versus how they did this season, or this movie season. So I think that's really cool. In terms of the music and the voice acting and everything else, let's first focus on the music. The music, I feel like it's hit or miss. I love the battle music. I think the battle music is amazing. I think the opening song is not that great, to be honest with you. I think it could have been a little better, unfortunately. It's not a big deal, but I was a little surprised by it and kind of disappointed by it. Now, in terms of the voice acting, English voice actors, for the most part, I believe almost every single one of them returned. I think there's only 1 or 2 that are missing, but, like, for example, Tai is back. I don't want to really say who else. I know Izzy is back, his voice actor is back. Mimi's original voice actress is back, I believe. I could be wrong with that one, but I believe she's the original one again. But for the most part, there are a few characters that did not return, unfortunately, but obviously some of them are retired from the voice acting and, you know, business in general, or even the anime business, so they have their own lives to go on. It's kind of what happens when, you know, the series has been actually aired for what? It has to be now almost 10 years, 15 years, it seems like. But overall, though, the voice acting's really good. Now, I'll tell you guys right now, if you are a fan of the original English dub and you watch the show like I did when you were a kid, I would highly recommend keeping the English on, because I did see some of it in Japanese. I wanted to see what it sounded like. There's nothing wrong with the voice actors and actresses in Japanese, don't get me wrong. However, I feel like I couldn't resonate with the movie as much when I was watching the first like 10 minutes of it in Japanese. It just didn't hit that same note that hearing the characters in English, what I grew up with, you know, it doesn't feel like it's that much more important. But when you have the characters coming back and hearing them in English, and that's what you grew up with, it just makes it so much better of an experience. So I would definitely say keep the English subtitles on, or excuse me, the English dub on. If you grew up with this in Japanese, maybe you watched it in Japanese, you can watch it like that. It's not gonna be a big deal. Overall though, the whole experience of Digimon Adventure Try Reunion is that it sets off a good note for the movie franchise, because I know there's going to be several movies like I said before, or maybe not in this take I said it, but if I didn't, I apologize. But there are 7 movies planned already. Most of them are already out in Japan. I think the next one's coming out in America in probably mid-June or so. Probably in several weeks, probably, because I mean I'm probably having this review up in June. But I know it's coming out not that far from now. It's only $15. It's a really dirt cheap movie. I think it's pretty, worthwhile for it, because it's about an hour and a half, so you definitely get your quality's worth. And it's also got some really cool, like, if you get the Blu-ray of it, you get some really cool side features, like, for example, the English voice actors talk about their experiences coming back to a series after having been away from it for so long. I thought that was cool. I mean, I'm a huge fan of commentary stuff, so definitely check that out if you are a fan of the series in general, too. Overall, if I had to review Digimon Adventure Try Reunion out of an A through F, I'd definitely give it a solid B. This is coming from both a fan and someone who wants to review this unbiased too, because I know if you're a newcomer to Digimon, or if you didn't like Digimon that much, you're definitely not going to change your mind with this. It's not going to be like, oh my god, look at... No, it's not going to do that, unfortunately. Newcomers will struggle if you have no idea what the hell's going on, because they really don't go into a lot of backstory. I mean, I think Adventures Try is meant to be the show that's aimed at people that have grown up with the series, not people that are coming into it brand new and fresh. So you definitely want to make sure that you've seen the series, or at least know some of the lore before going into it. There are some issues with the animation. I think at times it's weaker at certain moments, and I think it's really strong at other moments. I would have loved to see a little bit boost in animation, but I think for the most part, I assume that with the popularity of the first movie and with all the other ones, you're probably going to see some definite increases in the second one and third one, etc. Anyways, guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this review. As always, if you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video, check out my Patreon for the awards I offer on there, and as always, until our paths cross again in the next review, have a good one, everyone. God bless you all. Bye-bye.